Hello, beloveds, and welcome to another episode of A Spiritual Remedy. My name is Sunshine Day, and it is a joy to greet you. Let me know where you're watching from. Say hello. Let me know that you are here with me. I am a spiritual living coach. I am a mentor. I get this opportunity to provide spiritual tools and loving support for your personal transformation. And I see a world where people are living their best life and loving it. And what I know is that it's through our spiritual practices that we, in fact, live our genuine life. And so the purpose of the show is to just encourage one another and to build our spiritual learning community. Our host is Vida Spiritual Learning Center, and I get the great opportunity to be a spiritual director there, along with my colleague, Reverend Kevin Cottle. And together, what we get this opportunity to do is really support you on your spiritual journey, on your unfoldment in learning, in discovering what is for you and discarding what you no longer need. Looks like we have a few folks with us today. Jan Ford, what's up, beloved? So glad that you are here with us today. Thank you, thank you. And looks like we have Bertha Moreno. I'm happy to be back with you, Bertha. And looks like we also have Jason Wise. What's up, Wise Jason, out of Long Beach? So glad that you're with us. And what? Michelle Lopez. What's up? Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point to you too. So happy that you are joining us today. You know, on the show today, I want to bring up this thing about rigorous honesty. I've been doing a lot of reading, and of course, I do a lot of 12-step reading. And, you know, there's a paragraph in the literature that alludes to, you know, that many people do recover if they have the capacity to be honest, but there are such unfortunates. They're not at fault. They seem to have been born that way. They are naturally incapable of grasping and developing a manner of living which demands rigorous honesty. Whoa, rigorous honesty. There it is, one more time. And welcome again to Vida Spiritual Learning Center as well. And Alina, good morning. Yeah, you know, we're talking about rigorous honesty today, and what it means and what it doesn't mean. I know that the principle of step one in any 12 step, right? You know, that we admitted we were powerless over A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whether it's gambling, sex, whether it's our cell phones, we admitted we were powerless over these things, right? I also like Recovery 2.0, where they've modified them a little bit, and it says we admitted that we were stuck in patterns and behaviors and beliefs that no longer served us, and that we were disconnected from consciousness, meaning disconnected from life, disconnected from spirit, disconnected from all of creation itself. Irrespective of all of that, you know, that's step one is about honesty. It's that principle of honesty. And when we talk about rigorous honesty, you know, what are we really talking about? Go ahead and tell me in the chat what rigorous honesty means to you, and how is that different than just honesty? You know, a lot of times people put brutal in front of it. You know, brutal honesty, which means it kind of hurts. Thank you, Michelle. Michelle says rigorous is extremely thorough. Yeah, extremely thorough. And when I think about being extremely thorough, that I think if I was playing charades, I'd be like, like right on, extremely thorough. Um, and sometimes it's not about how sometimes we talk about cash register honesty, where the till always ends up correct because, somebody drops their wallet, you tell them, but what about if if nobody sees you? What happens then? I see Bertha says being impeccable with my word, and you're bringing in some Don Miguel Ruiz from the 4 or the 5 agreements, right? Jason is agreeing. He's saying yes, yes. And Michelle's also saying here, for me, it was letting go of my past, all of it, not just what I wanted you to know about me, even the things I was afraid to disclose. Whoa, whoa, we getting deep here on the show today because this is exactly what I'm talking about. Am I honest, says Jan Ford, am I honest about what can't be seen? Do I wash my hands after using the restroom before holding your hand for prayer? Am I honest? And that rigorous honesty and that idea of, am I revealing to you who I really am most of the time, right? Like, this idea about rigorous honesty is living in true honesty and making decisions to tell the truth. Making decisions. I'm going to decide to tell you the truth, and that means the full truth, so that you understand exactly what I'm coming from. But it also means that I get to examine myself. I get to examine my motives. I get to examine the hard truths. And that these are the things that help to keep me on track, help me lay down my weapons of mass distraction and keep them laid down. That I also am not manipulating. Now, we all know people who try to manipulate, I wish I could afford to do that, or, oh, I wish I had such and such and such and such, where they try to manipulate you, and then it's like, oh man, I feel bad because I have it and they don't, and I want to give it to them. What is it that I need to release and say? What it is about my motives, about whatever interactions. Like, sometimes people go to parties, right? I think about, people go to affairs and parties and things like that because they want to meet somebody, or they heard that some celebrity was going to be there, and so they're like, oh yeah, let me go to this party. Let me go to this party because I heard so and so is going to be there and I want to meet them. And then if in fact they meet them, they go, oh, hi, how you doing? I didn't know you were going to be here. Or, it's a real joy to meet you. Instead of even having that rigorous honesty, I heard you were going to be here and I made sure that I came because I wanted to meet you. Because why? A lot of times people might think that you're being like stalkerish and things of that nature, right? Or sometimes we might get insider information and we're told to keep it confidential, but we don't keep it confidential. Am I being rigorously honest when I'm asked to keep things confidential or not say anything because I want to appear like I know what's going on, or I got insider information, or I have something that I could tell and it elevates me, when I think about rigorous honesty, I also think about those behind the scene motives as well. You know, I'll give you a great example. A spiritual remedy. If I'm going to be rigorously honest with you, my viewers, the people who watch this, the people who share this with other people, yes, I do this because I want to help, because I've been sober. I have found a way of living and being a spiritual practice that I enjoy, that I like sharing. But if I'm actually going to be even a little more transparent, like, there's a part of me that wants to be really popular. There's a part of me that I want you to see me as if I know something and that I have some experience or that I have some value that I could add to you. Yeah, I do this because I would love to fill my books with clients and people that I could help and be of service to, right? It's also a way that I get an opportunity to put food on my table and to, do the things that I enjoy doing. Writing a book. I mean, I remember reading Brad Blanton's book and actually listening to it because I got it on audio. And, in the beginning of his book, he talked a little bit about, like, he wrote this book because he had fantasies of being rich and famous and helping people and being called to speaking engagements throughout the world. And I was like, whoa, like, I've done stuff like that. Like, I've had fantasies. I know that we have some people here that are writing books, and it's kind of like, wow, if I could really be honest, like, those are the kinds of the things that I think about. Let's take a look at what other people are saying, right? So Michelle, she says, it definitely takes practice to be rigorously honest. I've been so used to being honest from a surface point. My people pleasing comes into play also, but I am learning. Yeah, for sure, for sure. And Alina, you make me laugh. Stalking is like touching the hem, the hem of the garment. That's pretty funny. Michelle, I'm with you on that in terms of, like, the surface honesty. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you and tell you the stuff that makes me look good. But what about sometimes the stuff that, like, I have a resentment, like, I don't like that you did that or that you said that. And when I'm not able to really be myself and show my full character, the good, the bad, the ugly, the joyous, the free, all of that. Like, sometimes I don't want to show my character, and in that moment, am I being rigorously honest, or am I restraint of pen and tongue? And I wonder which one you value more. I think that we grow, and there is no right and wrong here, in terms of, like, restraint of pen and tongue, when you want to tell somebody off and give them a piece of your mind, and you don't, and then you quote unquote save face or save character, or, like we say in everyday life, you don't be showing your ass, right? But don't be showing your behind. But what does that really do to rigorous honesty? Does that just only show you a surface of who I am? Or does that really kind of fall into maybe being dishonest? I love what you're saying here, Jan. Saying ouch when someone has hurt me. Ouch, right? Saying ouch, like, ow, that hurt my feelings, or I'm offended by that, or I don't like that you said that. And so what are the steps? What are some of the tools, the tips? What are some of the spiritual practices that we can begin to use to have a deeper spiritual practice? Or, yes, thank you, Jason. Or when we've hurt somebody, you go, oh, my bad. Like, I recognize that I've hurt your feelings, and we could talk about it. Alina says, to speak the truth, I need to know the truth. And that leads me right into knowing the truth. You see, it is through the spiritual practice of reflection and contemplation, of reviewing our day, of reviewing my motives, of having that, what some people might call that come to Jesus moment, or where we are still enough. Still enough. How do I want to show up in this moment? what is my truth right now? It might not be quote unquote the truth, but what is my truth right now? Am I hurt? Am I angry? Am I upset? Am I feeling connected and in alignment with the other people around me? What is my spiritual truth? What is it that I'm aspiring to? And it is through this reflection and contemplation, when we really are just still and quiet, that we can then allow those answers. Because when we ask, this is in essence is sometimes called a mini visioning, where I might currently ask, like, what is this current situation? To get to where it is that I currently am. And then to simply ask, what is the spiritual truth that I am to know in this moment? What is the spiritual truth that I am to know in this moment? And as I am simply reflecting in a meditative state, in a receptive state, in a state of peace, and in a state of love of myself, love of humanity, can I perceive this in another way? I know the Course of Miracles says that often, like, what is another point of view? Especially when I'm in conflict with someone, or especially when I'm in conflict with myself, or not wanting to reveal my character. In other words, that I'm angry or upset, or that I'm attracted to you, or that I'm feeling super connected, because there might be some fear of rejection. These are reasons why people lie, right? Why we don't tell the truth. Fear of rejection. Maybe I'm feeling some shame. Maybe I have some fantasy idea of where I am now because I'm sober or abstinent, or now that I'm studying, or now that I'm perceived as being more spiritual. I might have some fantasy idea as to where I should be and where I am, and that they don't really match. However, honesty and rigorous honesty is the only way to have authentic relationships. And it is through this self-reflection, it is through this inquiry, the self-inquiry, and then using what has come up in that to get into prayer, affirmative prayer, where I recognize the spiritual truth of who I am, and I recognize how I'm behaving, and recognize that gap. Recognize that there's a gap from where I am to where I want to be. And simply bringing into my awareness and my attention that the truth of who I am is the truth, and that I continue to grow and unfold in a beautiful and divine and perfect way. I can't do calculus unless I know how to add and subtract. And so on this spiritual journey, it's about giving ourselves grace. It's about giving ourselves the opportunity to really, really be present, to be honest, to apologize, to meaningfully say that, and to kind of also recognize that I am a work in progress. We're going to go over just a couple minutes. I want to acknowledge Alina. She says, I need to prioritize the truth for myself. Whose or what truth do I value the most? And therefore, whose truth do I need to maintain my behavior around? Right? And that's absolutely true, is taking a look, to be true to yourself, to thine own self, be true. To do what Jan is suggesting, accept who I am and where I am in this moment, and recognize that I am in progress. I am in progress, not perfect. Thank you so much, Michelle, for your words of encouragement. This is indeed my joy. It's my joy to interact with you in this way. So I just want to remind you one more time that another way of us moving forward and growing spiritually is by having an attitude of gratitude, and what we appreciate appreciates. So remember to go ahead and send me your gratitude list at 562-928-6460. I will send you my gratitude back. It'll be one-on-one. And until next week, know that you are loved. And I want to hear some reports on rigorous honesty this week. Let's practice that. Let's show who we are, because if you're showing a fake self, do I really get to know you? No, I don't. I want to get to know the real you, and I want you to know the real me. Until next week, know that you're loved. Thanks for tuning in. Bye for now.